Hello guys, welcome back to the Laker family, where I want to discuss another topic of the media continuing to bash Kobe's name at any turn, at any chance that they get. Um, it's becoming a recurring theme. It seems like almost every day now. Like, can the guy rest in peace? At some point, can he rest in peace without somebody trying to throw some salt, some dirt on his name? Um, Today, Shannon Sharpe kind of disappointed me because I normally ride with him on a lot of things, but it seems like whenever somebody's getting a little too close to um, degrading LeBron or trying to put Kobe Bryant in the same sentence as LeBron, Shannon Sharpe quickly goes into defense mode and goes into trying to throw darts at Kobe Bryant. Let me dig into my bag and see what all I can do, what all type of ammunition I can use to hurry up and degrade Kobe to make my guy LeBron look good. And it's kind of disgusting at this point to go to those type of lengths to um, I guess save your player. And to me, I'm a Laker fans first, so I enjoy LeBron. I enjoy everything he brings to the table. I'm not one of those people that tries to put one guy ahead of the other. But when the media decides to do this and they brainwash people, because I'm in that 30. Well, I'm 34, so I watched a guy on another channel, Dreamers Pro, and he kind of feels the same way I do about a lot of this stuff that's going on, and he spoke on this, and in his eyes, he feels like Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron, and I'm not gonna get into all that right now, but like the NBA players, they all for some reason tend to choose Kobe over LeBron, but the media is seems to be backing LeBron. That seems to be what the case is. Um, so I watched Undisputed earlier this morning, and this is what your boy Shannon Sharpe had to say about Kobe Bryant when he felt threatened, when he felt LeBron's legacy was being threatened as far as Kobe Bryant. Listen in to this.
The 6'3" guard.
You're absolutely right. And I do believe that Russ was probably close. There are a lot of guys that were probably closer to LeBron. I'm not saying that they didn't have a great relationship.
Closer to Kobe, yeah.
Closer to Kobe than LeBron.
Yes.
But the problem that I have with people is that people have revisionist history, because what they see with Russell Westbrook, that was Kobe. Kobe was the guy that would come down and jack up bad shot after bad shot after bad shot.
That's fair.
And fans would kill him. He became so much more beloved outside of LA, because he was always beloved in LA.
Yeah.
But he became so much more beloved outside of LA at once his passing. But people used to kill Kobe. Go back and look at the timeline.
Okay.
Go back and look at it on social media and everything that was said. Kobe, Russell Westbrook was just like Kobe on the offensive end. Bad shot after bad shot. What did Michael Jordan say in the last dance, Skip? Don't pass that boy to that little Bryant boy.
Well, that was when he was just a kid.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because everybody, what did Shaq?
So, really, I just felt like Shannon Sharpe was doing okay with this debate until he had to go in there and basically just start throwing darts and salt on Kobe's name there. For starters, you brought up social media back in Kobe's day. First of all, Shannon Sharpe, there was no social media, especially not to the extent like it is today. You had different news outlets, stuff like that back then, but as far as Facebook, Instagram, hell, even MySpace, stuff like that, man, that stuff was not around back then for people to be sitting up there talking about. Go look at the the timelines and go look at the social media and the posts that people were posting. You're lying through your teeth right there. So when he's saying Kobe was a bad shot chucker, blah blah blah, it depends on how you define a bad shot. If Steph Curry, like how Steph Curry plays today, the shots that Steph Curry can take would be considered a bad shot by 90% of other player standards today. He can make those shots though. So because he can make those shots, that is not a bad shot for Steph Curry. So the same thing applied with Kobe Bryant back then. Yes, when we were used to watching Laker games back then, we were into it, and we were like, oh, no, Kobe, that, and then he would make it. But first sight of it, you're looking at it like, oh, that was a bad shot. But Kobe could make those shots. He probably was the most difficult shot taker and maker in league history. Somebody like a Kevin Durant, his degree of difficulty is not as high as what Kobe's was. It's 6'6". Kevin Durant is a sniping big man at 7 feet, so you're really 9 times out of 10 not going to affect his shot unless you're like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, and even he has trouble sometimes trying to make a shot difficult on Kevin Durant. But you could basically say Kobe Bryant's game was kind of like Brett Favre-ish. He can do more stylish things out there that other quarterbacks can do. He could take more risks. Yes, it did lead to some bad plays here and there, but for the most part, he could take those risks because he was that talented enough to make those difficult throws or whatever the case may be. So you have to put context behind that, Shannon Sharpe. You could say maybe he was a bad shot taker, but he was making those hard, difficult shots more times than not. And then you was bringing up stuff like that's why it wasn't working with Shaq and blah blah blah. They got 3 rings, Shannon Sharpe. They got 3 rings together. We all know the first 2 years in the league, Kobe was playing behind Eddie Jones, so those 2 years really don't count. And I think Skip tried to throw it in. Hey, he was a kid back then. Basically kids didn't get opportunities like they did. Kobe Bryant paved the way for. By the time LeBron James got in the league, kids were given the keys at that point. They wasn't shunned upon, things of that nature. So I just got a few stats. For Shannon Sharpe. 2000 playoffs, Lakers versus the Suns. Kobe, 21 points on 45% shooting. Versus the Kings, same playoff run, 27 points on 50% shooting. Is that bad? Is that bad shot taking and bricking, Shannon Sharpe? 2001 versus Blazers, 25 points on 48% shooting. 2001, same playoff run versus the Kings, 35 points on 47% shooting. Versus the Spurs, same playoff series, 33 points on 51% shooting. That's bad shot taking, Shannon Sharpe. People was bashing Kobe for that, Shannon Sharpe. What you guys tend to remember are the outliers games, like or the series like versus the Pacers, when Jalen Rose admitted stepping under Kobe Bryant's ankle because they couldn't hold him, they couldn't do nothing with him, injured him, hampered him for the series. Therefore, his stats dipped. You guys like to remember stuff like that without context. Post Shaq, since y'all say Kobe wouldn't have been able to score these type of points on that type of efficiency without Shaq. 2006, 28 points on 50% shooting versus one of the most loaded teams, Suns teams of all time that couldn't win a championship. That team was loaded with 4 All-Stars: Steve Nash, Defensive player of the year, Sean Marion. Um, he was All Star. Stoudemire All Star. Joe Johnson All Star. You had cats coming off the bench like Barbosa. Kobe was the only superstar on his team, and he took that team to 7 games. He had no Gasol yet, no Shaq. He took that team to 7 games, and they blamed Kobe. They called Kobe he quitted on his team that series when they shouldn't have never even been in that series to begin with. But they love to take away from the greatness of Kobe. They don't tell y'all that. They're not gonna tell you how he scored 50 points in that series. 29 points, game winners. They're not gonna tell y'all that. They're gonna tell you they felt like he quit Game 7 against 4 All-Stars. 2007 in the playoffs. The playoffs, he averaged 33 points on 46% shooting. 2008, 30 points on 48% shooting. 2009, 30 points, 46% shooting. 2010, 29 points, 46% shooting. 2011, 23 points, 45% shooting. 2012, 30 points on 44% shooting. After 2012, we all know that Kobe was no longer the Kobe that we loved and knew because the injuries started piling up after the Achilles. But with the stats I just gave y'all, with the efficiency there, Kobe was just a bad shot chucker, and people was bashing Kobe. A man that won 5 championships and never had a super team. The championship rings that he won, he never had a super team. Yes, Shaq was very dominant, but it was still 2 superstars with great role players. When he won without Shaq, all he had was Gasol as the next All-Star, going up against people like the Boston Celtics who had 4 All-Stars. Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, KG. People wouldn't even consider Paul Gasol in the same breath of a Tim Duncan, KG, or Karl Malone. But he took Paul Gasol, toughened him up, and they got 2 chips together. Almost won 3 together. If Bynum doesn't go down one of those series. But this just goes to show how the media still has an agenda and is push LeBron, which I am not taking anything away from LeBron. But when you start trying to dig at Kobe to elevate LeBron is where I start having the problem. And just to compare, also to compare Kobe against some of his contemporaries back in the day. Vince Carter. He shot 45%. He only shot 45% in his 26-year career 9 times. T-Mac shot over 45% only 5 times. I mean, you got people today, Harden, who they consider the best scorer of all time. 45. He shot over 45%. Only 2 times out his whole career. Guys like Stephen Curry, who considered one of these all-time great scorers. 25 points only 5 times out of his whole career. And these guys are playing in a inflated NBA today, so they really should be scoring way more than Kobe's era, which was more defensive oriented, less time on the shot clock, less possessions. So we got to stop letting these Shannon Sharpes, these Nick Wrights of the world sit up here and continue to try to control some type of narrative. It's very sad. It's very sickening. Stop down on a man who has 5 championships, and really he did it the hard way. But that's all I got for today, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all appreciate the content, please subscribe to the channel to help it grow. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.